Welcome back to Joygasm, a video game and movie podcast. I'm Russ, he is Steve, and Joygasm turns 5 years old in episode 271 today, April 29th, 2022. We're going to be reminiscing a bit about the past 5 years doing this program before going right into our topic of the day, which is movie trailer reactions, which you could fast forward to if you wanted to, but why would you want to do that? Because we're going to be getting a little sentimental here on the show, a little nostalgia. We're going to be actually talking about what it was like to start this very show 5 years ago and just, the journey leading up to today. We even have some fun highlights for you as well. So, Steve, happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary to you, Russ.
We are now walking, talking.
Yes.
I believe we are potty trained, but we can't, I don't know if we're able to read or write yet.
Well, we do have hair now, Russ.
We do.
Indeed.
There was a time when this was thick like a mane of a lion.
I don't know if I'd call it a lion, but maybe
A tiger.
maybe a rooster.
A rooster? I'm like,
Somebody say something?
hey, why are
You over there?
That is fantastic. Well,
Yes.
full disclosure. So part of why I thought it'd be fun to be able to talk about this is that not too long ago, about a couple of months, I want to say, I was asked at my day job to actually give a presentation on our show, which I mentioned to you before. So this is familiar territory for you. And so I put together this PowerPoint presentation that explains our origin story as well as like just all
Our lore.
Very good, Steve. Our lore, the Joygasm lore. And it just really does like this nice comprehensive look.
Great, Russ.
So I thought to myself, we should share this with our Joygasm listeners and fans out there. And by the way, I do apologize to those of you who only listen to us. I highly encourage you to check us out on YouTube or Rumble. We're on both platforms, just because there's a lot of little nuggets in here.
Lot to see more than here.
Yes.
Right.
Precisely.
Right.
Indeed. Although, we will be offering commentary in our own way. And actually, Steve has actually not seen any of this PowerPoint at all. So, anyway.
Genuine reactions.
Genuine reactions. Absolutely. It all began right there. Do you remember that picture, Steve?
Yes, I do. Matter of fact, we should have gone to video that day, Russ.
We should have. Yeah, no, the whole thing began on April 30th, 2017, which is insane. I cannot believe
Indeed.
that, man, it was 5 years ago.
That's right. And we were in the closet. If
We
anybody
were.
wants to see that, we were afraid of causing family disturbances by hoopling and hollering and doing impressions and yelling and laughing, of course. And so we thought, well, what better soundstage to absorb all the yelling than your closet?
Indeed.
Not to mention, there's a lot of color in there, Russ.
There is.
Not to mention, it got friggin' hot, too.
It did. What's really funny is that, like this box right here,
Oh, yeah?
that has a lot of comic books in it. These are just shoe boxes back here. But no,
That's nice, Russ.
this is part of my wife's wardrobe.
And
Hello,
you'll notice
wardrobe.
there is only one microphone in that chat. As we were going back and forth, trying not to kiss each other, saying stuff. And no, I wasn't. Okay. Having to go kind of back and forth, sharing the mic. I want to say something. You say something. No, I want to say something. You say something.
It's true. It's very, very true. Yes. No. What we had down here was actually my dirty clothes hamper that I closed.
That's hot.
With our initial script of doing like our older intro sequence.
Right.
And then we had this Yeti mic. It was a 2-way USB mic.
Borrowed. Right.
Borrowed from work. Yes.
That's right.
Convinced my boss at the time, hey, do you mind if I borrow this?
Russ, you're looking at a raise, or you can borrow the mic. One of the two.
I'll take the microphone.
He's like, oh, really? All right. Well, more money for me.
I thought you had a future. Apparently not. You're not a very smart kid, not very bright. Loyal, though. Makes me laugh.
But he's on time. That's a good thing.
I don't know why my boss has a transatlantic accent, but whatever.
Well, anyway.
But yeah, like you could see here just a little bit, there's a laptop that's perilously balancing on the said dirty clothes hamper. So this is how we started out. It was like two grown men sharing a microphone. Like we made the joke back then about how it's almost like two grown men sharing a milkshake.
It's gross. Man, not an ounce of gray.
Not an ounce on either one of us.
You're right.
I mean, look at that. Like, you could see what happened to us as we did Joygasm. We aged unnaturally. The rate of age accelerated. So anyway, I also had some really good quotes in here that I felt were pertinent to what it is that we have been doing over the past 5 years. This one is by Les Brown. Really, really great motivational speaker.
Yeah.
Have you heard of Les? Mr. Brown, I should say.
Yes.
Whatever comes at you, don't run from it. Don't try and duck it like most people do. Step toward it. I thought that was really good.
Step toward it. You grab by the butt and kiss it.
Oh yeah.
Romance.
This is another quote by Steven Spielberg, which was fantastic. He says, when you have a dream, it doesn't often come at you screaming in your face. Dreams always come from behind you, not right between your eyes. It sneaks up on you. Sometimes a dream almost whispers, but never shouts. I thought, that is such a fantastic description of any kind of like idea or epiphany that a person can have. It doesn't have to be a podcast, but just anything. Would you agree with that, Steve? That sentiment?
Would. Yes.
So here are some more fun imagery. Here, I'll turn off the pip here so we can see. It looks like Steve's like peeking over the little pip square there. But there you go. Now you can see him better. But like again, just photos that we took. If you notice the walls there in the upper right hand corner were not painted yet. That was the OG color. The images on the center and the bottom right. Those are the very first episodes that Joygasm launched on iTunes and Google Play. Really, really fun stuff. And of course, I had to talk about the networks. So when you're, looking at this, there's Spotify, there's SoundCloud, YouTube, Pandora. I don't even know what all I have in here. I kind of forgot. But, this gave kind of a snapshot as to like the growing amount of networks that were accepting our show. And it was just so fun to be able to see this like, slowly but surely acceptance into these various types of platforms. Another great one here of taking raw inventory of ourselves. This is a lesson that I know I learned. I think you did too, but things just don't happen as quickly as you want them to happen.
Right.
We've had our fair share of setbacks. Wouldn't you say, Steve?
Yeah, mainly money.
It's amazing what happens when you don't have finances.
All it needs is cash. I'm going to find some. You think it'd be laying around someplace.
Yeah, I looked between my cushions. I found $1.25. Anyway, these are more images for when I started building the Skyline diffuser, which, you see behind us here. And that was a 2-year endeavor. That was something that my father-in-law, Ronnie Humphrey, was kind of the architect behind. He really introduced me into the world of craftsmanship in the physical sense. I'm more of a digital guy, Steve. I'm more of a digital guy. I didn't know a thing about doing all this kind of woodworking, so to speak. And so, I mean, it introduced some good life lessons. If you recall the upper right-hand corner, Steve, those were the paint samples that we painted on the wall, actually behind us here. It used to be white, and we were going back and forth like, you like that one or that one?
Yeah.
Number one, number two.
Number 2 or number 3?
Number 3, number 1.
Okay, 2's out. Is it 1 or 3?
1 or 3? I don't know.
Let's paint everything in 1, and then we'll go to 3 and see if we like it better, and then paint everything back.
Exactly. So, and then you can see some of the stuff in the bottom right-hand corner there with like the different color swatches. So we're getting the Joygasm branding colors represented in there. And you can tell actually one of the main colors, which is kind of more of that maroon color, we have yet to implement properly into our studio set. So that is coming. I mean, again, this is very much, we're not done with what you see today. This is still very much a work in progress. And there you go. Skyline diffuser is completed, and those are some very happy middle-aged men right there. I do see so myself.
Black and white for yours truly. That's kind of harsh. I don't think I shaved that day.
Oh my goodness. So yeah, I explained to them, how we had to all of a sudden get budget for lighting equipment and light rigging equipment, that sort of thing. Showing off the different types of equipment and gear that we just, we could not buy immediately, but like slowly but surely we were able to get trusses and truss clamps and aperture lights and all this fun stuff. The crazy thing is there was a tremendous amount of research that I ended up having to do in terms of trying to figure out, okay, what works best with the studio space that we have available and the kind of look that we want, because, there are all kinds of different kind of looks with lights and stuff.
It's true. I learned that the hard way, Russ. I didn't know about that because I was always a fan of like a different light that you had. You're like, no. Yeah, you can't even do this light. There's a different light, different color. I'm like, oh wow. I'm like, feel like Neo in the Matrix just got downloaded a bunch of information about light. I know about light now.
Yeah, there you go. That was awesome. So yeah, I mean, just more pictures. You can see my lovely daughter in the bottom right-hand corner with her unicorn headset on. She's like bopping out to some, I think they call it kids pop or something like that. But yeah, just a lot of fun to be able to take a look at all this. And so, we stuck with it. We had tenacity after 4 years of saving money and research and labor. Phase one was finally complete. We finally had a dedicated studio, a central hub, to do the show.
Right.
Our own eagle's nest, our clubhouse.
Clubhouse.
Yes. And, we were staying true to our production value. We wanted to have a high production value fundamental, and we're now able to provide AAA content in terms of like the visuals and audio and that sort of thing. And so not only that, but then, the side bonus was that we were able to learn some new skills along the way. It's always a bonus.
Russ, I just come here and talk. That's all I do.
Nonsense, Steve. Nonsense.
I just come here and talk and offer an opinion, ideas, and then I go home.
This is another great quote. The wealthiest place on the planet is the graveyard, because in the graveyard we will find inventions that we were never ever exposed to, ideas, dreams that never became reality, hopes and aspirations that were never acted upon.
Who's that? Who said that, Russ?
That was a quote by Les Brown once more. I mean,
it says it on the top of there.
Yeah.
Quote by Les Brown.
There you go.
Okay.
So once I heard that quote, and I heard that many years ago, but it's always stuck with me. I was like, man, like that is such a crazy notion to think about when you reference a graveyard, because you're so conditioned to think like either it's like Halloween, like, or it's a place of sadness and mourning and remembrance and stuff. But this is something that actually is more of a cause for reflection, right?
Right.
Because if you think about it, how many different ideas and dreams that people never acted on and they took with them to the grave. And it's like, my goodness, that is a really neat concept to like think of a graveyard as the wealthiest place on the planet.
Interesting. All about perspective, Russ.
Indeed, Steve. Indeed. I'll skip over a couple of these just because I was putting a lot in here. So this is actually a big deal too. I'll have to briefly take us off here. Boink! And we're gone. Boink! Oh, we're back. Boink! And we're gone. So I was talking about the optimist versus the pessimist that lives in all of us, especially when we are going out on a new venture that is unknown. We're taking this journey. We don't know if it's going to be a success or if it's going to be a failure. And so these are the different types of things that I listed. I won't go through all of them, but like for those of you who are watching, these are all real world kind of negative thoughts that were in my mind that I was having to try and muscle my way through. And at the same time, I also had the optimist in me. It's almost like a duel of the fates, right? Where like the optimist is constantly in conflict with the pessimist, right? And luckily the optimist in me has been winning out, and that's a very good thing, because we wouldn't be where we are today if we decided to throw in the towel prematurely. You know what I'm saying, Steve?
That's right.
Let me see here. So this is just the mobile content stuff I was talking about. I don't need to spend too much time with that. But and again, social media, I was explaining about how, it's good to have brand ambassadors, creating a merch store, promotional budget, having it act as a time capsule for all of the different things that have happened over the years that you can look back upon, kind of like what we're doing right now, that sort of thing. So that brings me to a highlight. And this particular highlight, I put together once we actually started going to video, because if you recall, we were doing audio only for many years.
Sucks, Russ. There was a lot of good moments that were just audio and not video. Mm-hmm. A lot of funny stuff that could have been recorded. That wasn't. Well, it was recorded, but it wasn't recorded visually.
Indeed.
Yeah.
But it was still recorded from at least it was. We have an audio version.
At least there's a record, Russ.
There's a record.
At least there's a record.
There is. There's a tablet carved in stone. But no, I ended up putting together a.
What'd you put together, Russ?
Well, I'll tell you, Steve. Actually, I won't just tell you. I'll show you. I put together a highlight reel from once we first started going to video to where we are today. And so even there, you could see the progression of all this stuff we've been talking about as we move forward throughout just this past year. Because we went to video just a year ago. Ish.
I
don't even think it's been an entire year, has it?
It's been more than a year, Russ.
That we're on video?
Yeah.
I actually have no recollection of when we actually. Yeah, I suppose. Well, maybe not quite. I don't know.
More than a year.
I don't know, Steve. I don't know. I'll take your word for it.
Okay. Good.
Anyway, let's take a look at the 2021 highlight reel, because this is. It's just so it's so good.
It's so juicy.
It's so fun. Brings lots of memories. The only thing is I'm trying to get it to actually behave in a way that makes sense. You have to give me just a sec here, Steve.
It's okay, Russ. We can edit it all out later.
We're gonna edit it all out. Oh, I got it. All right, here I'm gonna switch it over here. Oh, look at that. From 204 episode 214?
214.
Boink, there we are. Let's check it out.
Wife and I are making our way through episode, I forgot what episode it is, but season 4 of The Sopranos. That was a nice snort. Sausages. Sopranos. Oh boy.
Not sure where that came from.
We're going to finish season.
Lasagna.
You see, that was what a lot of the earlier stuff
actually
was
a couple
like.
of weeks since last time I saw you.
Hot minute.
Oh, it's going to get hotter in here with these lights.
Oh boy. Don't you know it. I put on this shirt, Russ, and I thought halfway driving over here, maybe that was the wrong idea.
You look at the shirt
sleeves.
and I said to myself, mistake.
And that's when I did a donut in the middle of traffic and Fast and Furious did on the way home.
I was in the car when I realized I had this shirt on and nothing else.
Oh, gosh. Thank you. For not coughing directly into the microphone.
I was tempted.
AKA into my brain.
I was tempted. It's what happens when the saliva decides not to cooperate with your windpipe and mounts an impromptu protest. Watch as we make him choke as he's recording.
Oh, boy. You sounded just like Gaston's sidekick. What's his name?
Oh, my goodness, I did.
You did.
What was that character's name? That was so funny. Gaston. What is that guy? It's like his little crony. What was your first reaction like when you saw Horizon
first reaction
Forbidden
was,
West?
and then it was, and then it was, and then it was, that ain't gonna happen.
My first reaction was, oh. And my second reaction was, huh? My third reaction was, really?
And by the time I got to my 20th reaction, I was like,
Come rain or shine,
oh man, remember this?
come snow or lightning, we're gonna grill. It's a lot of fun, actually. One of the things about grilling in Texas is you sometimes, it'll be, what is it? It is officially July 1st. And due to the rainstorm.
Okay, so that was July
thunderstorm,
1st.
whatever you want to call it.
So it has been more than a year.
Feels like it's about 70 degrees. It's real nice. Hey, look, you get yourself a nice light show.
that was so loud that day.
It was. I mean, the timing of that could not have been more
Golly.
Felt my butthole pucker on that one.
I think the full name of the movie is Shang-Chi and the 10 Rings.
I think that's what it said.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what you could do, though, Russ?
What can I do, Steve?
You could go to your favorite comic book store of choice. Pick up issue number 1.
I don't think issue number 1 is available anymore, Steve.
And then read it.
I have a feeling it has been sold out for some time now.
Russ,
Yes, Steve.
I would say try your luck.
Try my luck, huh?
I think if you walk in there and be like, hey,
You
how you doing?
this new movie coming out? You got issue number 1? Oh, you don't? Well, now I feel awkward.
Gosh.
I'm just gonna...
It's going to go back to my car.
Yeah.
Maybe just
You never saw me.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I was never here.
that doesn't work either.
What's bow and arrow guy's name? Jeremy Renner.
gosh, we've been through this so many
Nighthawk,
times.
friggin' Eagle Eye.
Robin Hood.
Tomb Raider.
This is totally going to be like an ongoing thing. Every time you forget.
Aloy.
Legolas.
There's so many of them. So many I can't keep.
It's Hawkeye.
Hawkeye. I was close. I had like eye and hawk. Anyway,
No. I think they shut down. I think essentially Sylvie broke the machine system when she lopped off the android head, because the other two obviously were just. I mean, it's like the equivalent of going to Disneyland and like getting on It's a Small World ride. They're like, it's a small world.
but if you broke the head off one of those gnomes or whatever, like the whole system's not gonna shut down. Like it's talking. Like, oh, I just broke the ear off the thing. I didn't know it was going to shut down the entire contraption. Matter of fact, our canoe's not even moving forward in the water. Yeah, like,
So you're like, well, we're gonna be here a while.
Yeah.
Aren't we?
Anybody pack a lunch?
Yeah.
This is awkward.
Do you see any of those security cameras anywhere? You gotta wave a lot. You get them to come down here and help us out.
Is this a bad time to say I don't know how to swim? In 2 feet of water. I only dog
Anything else?
no. I think I've used up enough. Hey, and we're in the same shirt.
time to,
You've used up all your
there you
tokens.
go. Yes,
Well,
You have to
Joygasm
continue
representation.
I am. And with empty pockets.
It was happily empty pockets.
Nobody touch the console. I gotta run to the token machine.
I don't have a quarter, but I have this like dust moat. I'm gonna put it right there. That's my spot.
19. Hey, dude, I'm trying to put $1 in there. 17, 16.
Hold on a second. You're like using like the corner of the token machine to like flatten out your dollar bill.
Some like person walks by, you're just trying to get tokens. Would you just take $1?
Everybody knew. Everybody understood that situation. And then it was always like you had like 3 seconds left of the continue screen, and finally what goes. And you got like the jackpot of like, valueless tokens that you just take. You're like, oh, and then you sprint back and
they have to do like a Michael Jackson, moonwalker.
Yeah, exactly. And you would probably do the exact same move that he did. Like when you successfully got it before it continued to reach 0, you're like,
That's right.
It's very, very fun. And I don't know, like the characters themselves are super original. And I look forward to actually, getting to the end of the game. I think it's going to get more and more fun. One of the things that I did read about a little while back was how they made a patch update that they released. Are you okay over there? You seem like you're
sucked in a little dust or something.
You're a little gassy over there?
No, I'm gassy.
You okay?
It's a little sucking out dust. I don't know what it is.
Well, anyway, one of the things...
Maybe in that eyebrow you flicked off my head. It got caught in my throat when I was breathing. Who knows?
I'm like trying to focus on talking about Deathloop, and he's over there like just... you just keep talking. I'll be right back. You remind me of that one character from Men in Black, like the alien that was in like the guy's body. He's just like... I don't want to put my hand. Grab my hand. Oh, there you go.
Good times.
There you go. So you were right. It was over a year. So I think we've been doing the video thing now for, would you say just over a year or a year and a half?
Yeah. Well, yes. I would say about a year and a half.
About a year and a half? Or just under a year and a half?
I'd say a year and a half. Russ, if I was a betting man, which I'm not, because I would lose, I would say it's been about a year and a half. Because I think we had 2 Christmases.
Mm-hmm.
Well, maybe I'm wrong. I think we had 2 Christmases where we were videotaping ourselves.
Okay.
Talking about the year and games and movies.
Right.
So I think it's been a year and a half ish, maybe even 2.
No, not 2 years.
Yeah, I go back and look.
We'll have to go back. So we started with I believe it was episode 214. So whatever the date is on that, we'll have to take a look and see. Because we're up to 271. I mean, there have been a number of episodes, but wasn't that fun?
It was fun and funny.
It was. I mean, it was so nice to be able to go back through. And not only was it funny, but you got to see the progression of the studio.
Right.
And you saw how like we were just kind of making our
see, and there would have been
nest. You know what I mean?
Of that had we been on video earlier.
Absolutely. But
even if it was with our cell phone, just recording it.
We had this back and forth where I really wanted to stick to one of our core values of high production value. And Steve had suggested that we actually start out using just our phones instead. And I was like, no, we have to do it this other way and everything else. And so that is the trade-off, though, is that even if you go back, which we highly encourage all of you to do. I mean, there is a lot of really fun episodes when we were audio only. That's just a lot of fun. If you're, if you're in the car, you're commuting to work, you're commuting home, or you're on a road trip or whatever, on the subway, it doesn't matter. Just take a listen to one of those. And, there are all kinds of just, it's just a good time.
It is a good time.
Good time indeed. I had a couple more slides. So if we go right back, boink, over to where we are here.
Saucy things. You didn't write that, did you?
Not at all. What gave you that idea, Steve?
Saucy is your middle name.
Thank you, Steve. Thank you very much. So yeah, I put this together, which is like our little timeline, Steve. So in 2017, Joygasm begins. Like I said earlier, April 30th, 2017, we published the very first audio-only episode of Joygasm. And then we go from there to 2018, where we got the audio upgrade. That's where we actually got the dedicated studio space, better audio equipment, and expansion onto additional podcasting networks, which was followed by 2019, where we got our online presence. You know, I designed Joygasm.tv, which is our official website, and it got launched. And also, the podcast itself of Joygasm becomes available on Spotify and Pandora. And then work begins on building a custom Skyline diffuser. How nice is that? And then in the year 4, 2020, better known as the dumpster fire, that was...
Yeah, that was a bad year.
Terrible year. However, there is a silver lining, and the silver lining for us is that the Skyline diffuser got completed and the studio was painted and video production equipment starts to get ordered, which means that after 4 years, we finally had amassed enough of a budget to begin actually buying, slowly but surely, the different types of lighting equipment, video camera equipment, and so on and so forth. And it doesn't stop there, Steve. You know, last year, 2021, made our video debut. We had enough video and lighting gear that I was satisfied with, basically what I consider to be, it's what you call a MVP, Steve, or minimum viable product.
Right.
And then here we are, the current year where we're starting to promote ourselves. We're getting into making the transition of budgeting for all the gear. Now that we've bought the lion's share of gear that we need, now we're starting to offload that and begin having more of a budget towards doing the promoting to build awareness for the show.
Like, come to think of it, I think it wasn't 2 years. It might even been under a year and a half. Because I remember going home, be like, "This is a big deal. Want the video."
Yeah.
And I was married by then. I was married in late 2019.
Yes.
So by 2020, is it 2020 or 2021? Actually, yeah, we went to video.
I think 2021, I think it was probably whenever Zack Snyder's Justice League was released, that was around the time I want to say that we started doing video. And I think it was probably like March of 2021.
Interesting, Russ.
Something like that. But yeah, I mean, next year we're going to continue to polish. We're going to continue to furnish the studio. I don't know if you can ever tell when we do the show, but we're sitting on folding chairs.
Folding chairs! Butt's killing me.
Yeah, we've had many an episode by the time we're done, and our gluteus maximus is
glute massage.
Feeling a little tingly. They fall asleep.
Yeah, they do, Russ. You know what we also need, though?
What?
We need to videotape ourselves playing games. We need to have a good video of us playing games.
A good video of us playing games.
Or separate videos. When we stream, we got to put ourselves out there. Right now, it's just like an audio-only Twitch.
Why don't you get on that, Steven?
And that's when it works.
I like what you're coming up with there, Steve. Make it real. Make it snappy.
Transatlantic again.
Exactly.
Why is your boss talking to me right now?
Why is everybody transatlantic? I don't understand. So anyway, once we go past 2023, the sky is the limit. It's really interesting to find out. Obviously, we would love to be able to find sponsors, and we'd love to see where else we can take the show. But my goodness, I mean, what are your thoughts when you look at our journey like that? My,
has time flown by.
Indeed,
those are my thoughts. So yeah, how many, that's been a lot of E3s and game shows and reviews and movies and
absolutely
standing in line and coming over here late nights into the wee hours of the morning, wondering if I have to work the next day with droopy eyes. Hey, I'm passing out and it's at 9 o'clock in the morning, but man, you should hear the show we recorded tonight. Oh boy.
How do you feel though, just in terms of the amount of accomplishment that we've been able to see realized within, thinking about how we started out not knowing a thing about doing podcasts and how we've had the tenacity to stick with it for 5 years up to this day, and we're going to continue going on. You know, it is funny that you make a comment about the facial hair because you are way more gray now than you were when we first started the show. I mean, I'm like, I'm not too far behind you.
Yeah.
Not too far behind you on that one.
I hit a mark in the timeline where it just started to blossom right here.
That's I think that's what's happening. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. And it kind of bled over to the cheeks.
Indeed.
Yeah.
I, for one, wanted to express our gratitude toward all of you who have taken a chance on us and have been fans of ours, whether you started with us with episode 1 or if you just started following us this year. Definitely a huge thank you from the two of us because we really love doing the show. Yeah, it is a lot of work, but it's a passion project. It's something that is an outlet. It's a creative outlet for us to be able to share what we love. I mean, which is video games, it's movies, it's pop culture, all this stuff. So we definitely have a lot of fun plans for the next 5 years as well. In fact, I just dropped a brand new playlist. If you missed it during this week earlier, I'm going to start a new unboxing segment. So the first one, it's called Joygasm Unboxing, actually. And the first statue is from J&D Studios. It was a 3rd scale statue of Heath Ledger's Joker. Really awesome video. It's about 23 minutes long, somewhere around there. But we're going to be continuing doing that because I am a big statue collector. I love just having those types of maquettes and stuff because I'm a geek.
Right. And you know what, too? We try to put out some quality entertainment, too. I mean, this is not something that's kind of half-bootied. You know, we are trying to entertain folks. I mean, we like to provide laughter and give folks a little rise in their day, and we hope that we do that for you. We hope we give you something to look forward to on a weekly basis.
It's true. It's like, you know, I think part of our motto is we want to put a pep in your step, right? Like we ideally would love to be almost like kind of like the guys in your back seat while you're driving, you know, some of your good buddies. And we're just talking about our favorite subjects while we're having to deal with traffic, or, you know, if we can temporarily get you to forget about the woes of life and just, I don't know, immerse yourself in things that really, you know, am I dovetailing correctly what you're saying, Steve?
Yes, you are, Russ. You are quite the dove. And you eat messy too, just like a dove.
That is true. That is very true, Steve. Coming soon to a theater near you, it's the topic of the day! Our topic of the day is movie trailer reactions. When I'm not absolutely destroying the equipment that I just paid for.
Yeah. Thanks for not giving me a black eye.
I'm sorry. I'm just so excited, Steve.
Yeah, I really didn't know what happened there.
I wasn't so wedged in here between the table, chair, and who knows what. I just grab you.
I
grab you and hug you.
Saw nothing but a white blur of an arm.
I'm so... Look at this.
And a loud knock in front of my face.
Oh, boy. Literally, the only color I have is like the red. My face is beet red from laughing so much.
It's true.
Man, look at that. You've got more of a tan than
that's right, Russ.
like Mr. Lily Boy over here. Anyway, sorry, we're totally like digressing off the topic of the day. We have a total of 4
El Quattro
Correctamundo.
Yes.
4 trailers. First off is the Obiwan Kenobi on Disney Plus.
Oh boy.
Second one is Tokyo Vice.
That's out now, by the way.
Is it really?
Yeah, it's on HBO Max. I haven't seen it yet, but it's on my watch list.
Well, depending on what I think of the trailer, that just may be on this weekend's playlist for me. Number 3 is the, what is it? Outer Range. I was going to say Outer Ranch. Glad I looked at it.
Yes.
Outer Range. And then finally, oh no, we have, I'm sorry. If you were on the Outer Range, we just shot one of them. So there's actually 3 trailers, not 4. Sorry. I can't count, apparently. I'm just,
You're good at presentations, Russ, just not counting.
I am. Now, Steve, I feel like this is tradition whenever we do one of these types of trailer reaction episodes. Have you seen any of these yet?
Maybe I have. Maybe I haven't.
And how many have you seen, Steve?
Maybe I forgot everything that I've seen. I sent you these trailers like forever ago. I'm like, am I ever gonna get a chance to watch them?
Have you seen all of them? Is there anyone that you have not seen?
I don't think I've seen the Outer Ring.
You mean the Outer Range?
The Outer Limits, the Outer Space.
Every time. It never fails. I don't think we've had one single trailer reaction
Have
episode.
you even seen the new Thor trailer?
No. Little one-up mushroom. We are actually going to be doing 4 movie trailer reactions. Thank you for saying that. You know what?
Respawned.
I've been avoiding it. I saw like parts and stuff because like it's just like when it came out, it was like everywhere. I was like, like if you go on IGN, they're like, oh, here's a bunch of pictures. You're like, okay, well, I've seen like the highlights from the trailer already, but
it's different when you watch it, Russ.
my goodness, Steve, thank you.
That's what I do here, Russ.
I don't even have that queued up, so when we get to that,
Man.
you're just have to let me just cue it up.
I guess I'll say something now while you type some things.
All right, let's dive into it. I had the first one queued up, which is the Obi-Wan on Disney Plus.
Please. Don't let it suck.
The fight is done. We lost. Stay hidden.
The key to hunting Jedi is patience. Jedi cannot help what they are. Their compassion leaves a trail. The Jedi Code is like an itch. He cannot help it. Where is he?
Ooh. Oh, my. So what are your thoughts on that, Steve?
Well, Russ, my first thought is please, Disney, don't make it suck. Star Wars is near and dear and needs proper TLC, in my opinion. And I mean, I guess they've given, well, I mean, the Mandalorian, it's still part of the Star Wars galaxy. You can't really call it Star Wars. I mean, I guess you can, but you can't, but you can. And they've done a great job with it, but as far as the movies go, Russ, it's topsy-turvy. And I want them to spend the budget to make it good.
Right.
Real good.
It's pretty trippy to see Ewan McGregor back
Right.
as Obi-Wan Kenobi. I remember when they made that official announcement at one of the big expo conferences.
With Kathleen Kennedy.
Kathleen Kennedy, yes. And
I remember when Ewan McGregor went on the stage and goes, Kathleen. I can't do Ewan McGregor. that was so far off the mark. I can't
Scottish,
do it.
Steve.
Yeah, I can't. I was trying to do it. I can't. But he asked Kathleen, ask me if I want to do it in front of like everybody.
Yeah,
He's like,
yeah.
ask me again. He was like, well, and she looked a little bit kind of like off put, like, it's just off script.
Oh, I think it was planned.
But anyway.
Great acting.
Yeah, right. Anyhow.
Yeah, it was at the time really exciting to see that announcement get made. And again, like Ewan McGregor, when I think of the prequels, he was one of the highlights, in my opinion, of what was episodes 1, 2, and 3. Like when I think of the different characters that they had introduced, he really did embody the character of Obi-Wan Kenobi that Sir Alec Guinness did before him. And I think he really is a perfect example of a younger version of Obi-Wan Kenobi. Would you agree?
Yes and no. I don't know. I don't think he was a perfect actor for him. I like a younger version.
Are you thinking of somebody else instead, or?
No, I wouldn't. Well, no, I don't know who I'd replace him with. But I don't think he was perfect. I think he was a good choice. I just don't think he was the perfect choice.
Mr. Critical over here.
Critical is my middle name.
Overall, I am interested in seeing the show.
Right.
I think, I like the idea of them introducing the Sith Inquisitors, because that is something that has been part of the Star Wars world for quite some time, but they haven't really, from a film perspective or a show perspective, probably, I'm sure in Star Wars Clone Wars, they probably have Inquisitors. I have not watched Star Wars Clone Wars yet. But just thinking of like the live action movies and that sort of thing.
Sure.
They have focused mainly on the Jedi and the Sith.
Right.
Now, the Sith have different classes of Sith, which is, I find, very interesting. It's really cool to see like what kind of specialties they have. And in the video games, they do to a certain extent explore that. So it's nice to see what they're doing here in this case. My only hope is that they don't make it cheesy.
I know.
I really do not want to have eye-rolling moments with the Inquisitors. Like, I want to fear them. And I feel as though more often than not, when it comes to the villains within the previous Star Wars efforts, like, obviously Darth Vader, one of the most iconic villains in cinema history. Darth Maul, again, one of the most like sinister villains in cinema history. Even more recently when we were watching Boba Fett. And you had the live action version of Cad Bane. I mean, again, like just terrific presence with these characters. And I'm curious to see, how does this work on a platform that doesn't have as grand of a budget as, say, the movies?
Slippery slope, Russ. Slippery slope. Because you want it to be awesome.
Yeah.
But sometimes the bean counters aren't really on the same page or excited as you are about the show. They just want to make the money.
Yeah.
So they're like, yeah, we're only going to give you like $10,000. You're like, for Obi-Wan?
Yeah.
Man, I think we need a little more.
I do think that probably what is a wise move on their part is, and this is not just for Obi-Wan, but like a lot of the different types of projects that they greenlight. I do think that it's a wonderful opportunity for them to do character studies of these fan favorites, right? Where because they know they can't do like the scope and scale of, what you see on like a $200 million movie. At the same time, that's okay, because if they decide to, make it more of a centralized focus on these characters, and I think Mandalorian's a great example of this being a success story, is that you really get to know more about the Mandalorian type. And as a result, like, everybody just goes crazy for it. It's one of the best shows. Anyway, let us move on to the second trailer, which is Tokyo Vice. Let's check that one out, shall we?
With information, there is always a cost.
You wish to be a crime reporter in Japan. Why?
You think because you're a foreigner, the rules are different?
You like busting my balls, huh?
It is a great joy of my life.
Giving up and going home is not an option. You know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean.
この街の本当の姿を、裏の仕組みを知りたいんです。
And let me guess, this is how you recruit a cop. Ika-Jake. With information, everything you do has consequences. There's always a cost.
Jake, this is Sato. He's not as brooding as he seems.
What's it like to be a Yakuza? I could write about that.
Yes, but then I'd have to kill you. この国じゃ分野は嫌われてる。優秀なやつは特にな。
優秀な新聞記者は敵が多いってことですね。
敵のいねえ男は男じゃねえ。This world. Once we open a door, it is very hard to close. Don't write about this.
Well, I think that looks pretty interesting. What do you think?
Yeah, I would say so. I have to give that one a watch around.
Yeah.
See how it is, Russ.
Well, and I like that it's on HBO Max.
It is on HBO Max, Russ, which I pay for on a monthly basis and don't watch on a regular basis.
Do you know if it's also in theaters?
It's a show, Russ. I think it's a.
So it's dedicated to HBO Max.
It's a Max series. It's a Max series, so it's gonna be a show.
Ah,
definitely not in the theaters.
Very nice.
Don't gotta stand in line for that one, Russ. All you gotta do is come over.
Well, I actually very much look forward to checking that out. That piques my interest, and I like the angle that he's a reporter. He's I think if I understand it correctly, he's an American reporter, right? He's not British. He's American.
He's American, yeah.
And he wants just to learn more about Tokyo and kind of its inner workings, that sort of thing. And
Sounds
I mean,
exciting.
How could you not go the route of Yakuza? What was that?
It's exciting, Russ. Anything mafia kind of related is thrilling, exciting. All that organized crime stuff.
Well, it said it was inspired by a true story. I wonder how much of it actually is true versus how much of it the creators are like, oh, wouldn't it be cool if?
Yeah, there's a country called America, and there's a country called Japan.
Go.
And between there, anything could happen.
Action.
Yeah, and go.
Yeah. Open world. What?
Elden Ring.
Yeah. So the next one is Outer Range. Have you? And yeah, you've probably seen.
I don't think. Maybe I have.
Oh, maybe this is the one that you have.
Nah, we'll see.
Check it out. Let's see.
This land, this family, it's always been kind of like a dream to me. I don't know, part of me, I guess. Figured one day I'd wake up.
I'm looking for the Abbott Ranch.
Yeah, we're not a tourist ranch.
Come on, let's look in a camp. Only be a few days. Autumn.
Royal.
Glad to finally meet you.
Why are you here?
You see that? I've been drawing it for years, and now I see it all over the place here.
You stay away from her, you understand? And that goes for everyone.
I want that land.
Why?
There's something out there.
What is this, Royal?
I don't know what it is.
This will just be our little secret.
I want you west pasture because I want you west pasture.
Why west?
You tell me.
Something's happening here. Something bigger than you and me. And the world's been waiting for something like this.
There'll be no strings to bind your hand.
You ever wonder if the world's not what you think it is? No law, no order, just chaos all the way down.
Hello.
Something is coming. Something is happening.
Just call me angel of the morning, angel.
Please, can you quit it?
Just call me angel of the morning, angel. Just touch my cheek before you leave me.
Don't really know what's going on there, but could be interesting, or it could be a whole lot of nada.
Well, it has Josh Brolin, which I think both of us are fans of.
Joshy Bros.
And, you know, of course, he's leaning into more of that Southern hospitality type of the scene.
Welcome to the ranch.
Like my Van Dyke.
You want to ride one of them horses?
Or maybe one of them steers.
Stairs.
I'm not
We
sure.
don't like them tourists coming around here.
I got myself some sweet tea. Takes the edge off.
Nice to drink on a hot day after working on that ranch.
Normally I try and squirt a little cow milk in there. Oh, gosh. I don't really know what the story is about. I mean, if I had to guess, it looks like it is kind of a alien. I mean, it's like the kind of like, oh, you're out in the Midwest and there's like an alien presence perhaps, or maybe it's a cult presence kind of thing. It seems like they're kind of teasing like it could go one way or the other. What do you think?
Or it's like some sort of portal to something.
It's a hole. It's a big hole in the dirt in the grass.
It's not exactly a meteorite. Slamming to earth, though. It's
a perfect
It's
circle.
a circle. Right. So it has a perfect diameter.
Diameter. Yes.
Diameter. I don't know how they say it over there.
Do you think that you're going to be checking that one out?
Yeah. Why not?
Yeah?
Give it a shot. Sometimes you never can tell.
It looks like it could possibly be a pressure cooker type movie.
Yeah.
And I think
show. I think it's a show.
Oh, it's a show. Well, it's on Amazon.
Right. Jamazon.
Do you think your wife would dig that? It looks like it might be up her alley.
Probably not scary enough for her, but if there's enough mystery to it, then I'd say so.
Oh, really?
The thing is with that one though, is they don't really show a whole lot of like what's going on. They see a lot of like intense camera shots, but you don't really, something's up.
Yeah, you know something's happening. Something's not stirring the Kool-Aid.
They made the preview for a reason.
Trouble in Southern Paradise. Something, it's going on with it. Well, and I believe this is probably the teaser trailer, right? They'll probably have subsequent trailers come out.
Maybe. So I think that one's out too. If it's not out yet, it's coming. It's out like really
okay,
pretty soon.
Well, And it's a show, not like a one-time film. Because Amazon's actually been doing both. Like they'll have, like certain movies with Chris Pratt, for instance. There's not
That's
like
a movie,
right?
Right.
So you know for sure this is a show, not a movie.
I think it's a show.
I'll take your word for it, Steve.
Thanks, Russ.
Thanks to me, Ombre over here. He reminded me about how Thor: Love and Thunder's trailer came out. Let's take a look at that one.
These hands were once used for battle. Now they're but humble tools for peace. I need to figure out.
That's a great song.
Exactly who I am.
Look at the size of
I
those
will
chains.
choose my own path. Live in the moment. My superheroing days are over.
Remember what I told you? You ever feel lost? Just look into the eyes of the people that you love. Not me.
What? Just listening.
Oh, there she is.
Do you know who that was, Russ?
Oh yeah, that was Jane Foster, aka Natalie Portman,
That's right.
or Natalie Portman, aka Jane Foster. Either way, it's not wrong.
No, they're calling her Natalie Portman in the movie, Russ. They've changed her name.
They changed her name entirely.
Yeah.
Yes, Jane Foster is actually in the Marvel comic books. Like she's a known character that takes on the mantle there for a while, and she's her arm was looking a little ripped there.
Well, she's had enough time to work out since the previous Thor movies, Russ. Since Thor 2.
Indeed.
Bulk up there, Natalie.
Indeed. And
You're up.
The nice outfit. My goodness. Like the updated helmet on her looks super cool.
Shiny.
Nice little teaser there. I'm excited. It's so interesting to me how with the series of Thor, Thor started out, and I'm talking about the standalone films, like they were okay. Like the first one was decent. It was okay. It wasn't anything to write home about in terms of being like this like crazy awesome film. Then the second one came out. The second one was just like, it was a little worse than the first one. It wasn't as good as like we were hoping it to be. Then came Thor Ragnarok,
right,
and completely like just did a 180 on the standalone films of Thor. And this looks like it's a continuation down that road where you're on this magic carpet ride. And how awesome is it too that they have the Guardians of the Galaxy? Because again, like one of the best parts of the Avengers, Infinity War and Avengers Endgame was the like ridiculous banter that was going on when they picked up Thor and kind of like the go back and forth between Star-Lord and Thor, and like I don't know, like it was just pure comedy. It was gold. And actually both Chris Pratt and Chris Hemsworth, they have great comedic timing.
They do. Yes, that's just true. I hope they show a lot of the Guardians of the Galaxy. And well, not a lot, no, because it's Thor's movie. I don't want them to show. I don't want them to like Tigger. I don't even want it to be 50-50.
Right.
But I'm just glad that they're there. But what I will say too is that I think they're giving the hammer to a little bit too many people. Like too many people can pick up the hammer and just use it. I mean, Vision can, Captain America can, or
yeah, he can,
could.
Yeah.
And now we have.
Go ahead. Sorry.
And now we have, of course, female Thor.
Jane Foster.
Lady Thor. Lady, I don't know what her name is going to be.
Well, I think it's
just Lady Thor. Femme Thor.
I don't read that comic, but I mean, it's Jane Foster. So
yeah, sure. She's got to have a name though.
Maybe she will. I don't know, Steve. That's that is actually part of the fun of going to these types of movies where I have not been reading the comic as he can attest to because he doesn't read them either. It's actually a lot of fun because then you get to discover these other types of characters that exist within the MCU.
Or you can just look it up on IMDb.
You could do that as well. Absolutely. No one's stopping you. I'm really excited though. Like one of my favorite scenes from that entire thing.
I know that you would like that.
I love it.
I know that you would like that.
It's like such a great example of what I was talking about about the comedic timing where you Chris Pratt just like slowly. That's like something that we would do. Like we'd be at a family function and you would say something that was heartfelt or sentimental like that. And then I would just kind of like lean into your peripheral vision, just be like, you're like, yeah, I'm not talking about you.
That's happened before. I'm sure it has. Happened
so
a few
good.
times. Or you'll do it while I'm driving. I'm like, hey, you see something over there? And you're like, I see it. I see it. And then you're like, you gotta get like right in front of my vision. Just make a dumb face. Like, I'm trying to drive. But it's funny at the same time.
Oh man. Well, I am very excited for that. Honestly, between all the ones that we looked at, I gotta say Thor is number one. I would say I'm the most excited to see. What about you?
Yeah, I would say Thor followed very closely by Obi-Wan.
Yeah, I agree.
Because the music that came on me, I got goosebumps right away.
Are you talking about from Obi-Wan?
Yeah.
That's John Williams, baby.
I know.
Duel of the Fates. And actually, I was reading about how John Williams came back to conduct and create the compose the score for the Obi-Wan show. So all the music we're going to be hearing is straight up Johnny. Whew.
Boy.
Excellent. Did you know that he's in his 90s now?
Yeah.
I think he's 91.
Treat him good, Disney.
I'm telling you, living legend right there. Living legend.
Man.
This is crazy. Well, that wraps up this episode of Joygasm. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. If you enjoyed this episode, we invite you to check out patreon.com/Joygasm, where you can enjoy exclusive perks and early access to the show. Not to mention, it financially helps us continue doing the show. Also, why don't you just give a hug on that subscribe button and maybe a smooch on that notification bell. That way you will not miss a single solitary episode of Joygasm. It drops once a week, every week. And while you're at it, do a search on your favorite social media platform of choice. Just type in @Joygasm TV, JOYGASM TV. And we post all kinds of behind the scenes nonsense and fun little like nuggets of geek outery that you won't want to miss. Last but not least, do a search for Joygasm on Twitch to see us stream our game. Joygasm TV on Twitch. To see us stream our gaming adventures live every Wednesday night at 9:30 p.m. Central Time. And in fact, currently we are doing quite a bit of Elden Ring adventuring, which is awesome. Very, very cool. We look forward to hanging out with all of you next week.